to infinity and beyond.
What's up, everybody? Roger and James here from Infinity and Beyond, presented by DisKingdom.com and DisGaming.com. In this episode, we're going to kind of maybe slightly veer off a little bit because the Xbox presentation for Me3 just took place just a few hours before we recorded these episodes this week. And next week we'll do the same thing for Sony and Nintendo. But Microsoft kind of came out with this big thing. Obviously, we've got the Xbox Scorpio, or now the Xbox One X, which I'm going to be honest, I thought was a horrible name. I said on the Discord last night of we've had this great generation of the Scorpio, the Pro, the Neo, and the NX, and they literally went and flushed all three great names down the pan to launch other ones. Personally, I was really hoping for something, to be honest, Disney, Marvel. I was wondering if we might have seen something like from Avengers or something like that. There, nothing Disney got revealed at all. Because I'm moved house this week. This is why the video is a little bit different. I'm just on 4G, so I haven't got any Wi-Fi. So reading the blog and keeping up with the live updates while I was playing, and it was just like, gut reaction was okay, but there's nothing here really. Crackdown 3 is about the only thing really, because that's almost like a superhero game in itself. But that was about it. It really didn't kind of hit anything out the park for me.
In terms of exclusives, I have to agree. For me, there's nothing here that's just like, ooh, I'm very glad that I own an Xbox rather than a PlayStation, even though I personally own both of them. But if I was an Xbox only owner, I would say there's nothing here that's really, super amazing must own an Xbox to get this. There are some very cool titles that were revealed or announced, like Anthem, which looks pretty cool. Shadow of War, the Lord of the Rings sequel, of course, is my currently #1 most anticipated title of this year, so I was thrilled to see that at the Xbox, but it's not an Xbox exclusive game.
So it's a bit like me with Assassin's Creed Egypt. That's a game that I want to play. However, I can't even. Where is that one at? That one's out in October, isn't it? That one.
Yeah.
So that one's going to be tough because this holiday season's already starting to rank up. November's literally, I've got Mario Odyssey, Battlefront 2, and Lego Marvel Avengers, or Marvel Superheroes 2. So this November, I've already got 3 games I'm picking up. So it's going to be. I might put Assassin's Creed on hold, depending on what comes out around it. But as far as Microsoft go, the new console comes out, I believe November the 7th, priced at $499. So it's a lot smaller than it was than the previous ones. It's very, very powerful. It's definitely going down this line of incremental increases in console development, rather than full grown. In one way, I do think that having the Xbox One branding kind of, in some ways, it kind of keeps it going. There's also this thing as well of the Xbox One X. If you actually just do it, it just is the acronym Xbox. So it's kind of, they just want to have these different blocks coming out. It's going to look fantastic if you've got a 4K television. It's going to be nice and powerful. But they only revealed 5 exclusive games. Oh yeah, Crackdown 3, November the 7th. Sorry, I think I'm going to have to wait till after Christmas for that one. It's just looking way too crowded that month.
Yeah, I was pretty interested in Crackdown 3. Actually, the trailer for Crackdown 3 kind of pushed me in the opposite direction. I was looking forward to this title, and I still am, but the trailer was just like, you know what, this can wait. This can definitely hold off. I fully expect that Shadow of War is going to take up a lot of my time next year, or late this year, and then obviously we've got Battlefront 2 and Destiny 2, neither of which were shown here. But yeah, I'm not looking at a whole lot of things, and this is true than more than just the Xbox. I'm not looking at a whole lot of games here that I'm just kind of like, yeah, I have to play this when it comes out in 2017 or early 2018. I think the only exclusive title in the Xbox lineup where I'm kind of like vaguely interested is Forza 7. And that's because I have Forza 6 and I have Forza Horizon 3, but for myself, they really need to prove what does Forza 7 have that 6 does not have that makes me want to spend a full $60 on this new title.
Yeah.
What does Forza 7 offer that 6 does not? Because Horizon's a completely different thing.
See, I be honest, I actually went the opposite way of Need for Speed, with its Fast and Furious kind of thing for me. Because I remember playing like Most Wanted and a few other ones. That for me is the kind of racing game that I don't play racing games very often, but the Need for Speed one was like, yeah, I like this. This is going to be chasing from the cops, going to be crashing, it's going to be fun. You know, I always find, you know, racing games going around a track, I do not, you know, Mario Kart is great, but that kind of game only keeps my attention for a short thing. So Forza, or whatever it's called, I have got zero interest in it. No matter how good they can make the cars look, doesn't interest me. I know they've also doing an Minecraft is getting a 4K upgrade right across the board.
Why? Why does Minecraft have to be in 4K? I mean, I know this is kind of like the thing at the moment, upscaling everything to 4K, but if there is a game that does not need a special attention to be upscaled to 4K, it's freaking Minecraft.
I don't know, maybe not. They've maybe looked at it and go, right, we need to kind of sort this out a bit because the screens are getting bigger. This is looking worse, and it's a big money spinner, and they're going to keep money coming into it.
I don't think looks have ever been Minecraft's concern. I mean, this would be kind of like saying, you know what? We've upgraded the original Super Mario Brothers to run at 60 frames per second in 4K resolution.
Yes.
And be like, you know, that's great, but
yeah,
there's a certain level of, you know, whatever where you kind of need to reach to make 4K worthwhile. Now it's cool that they're doing it. It makes a nice little checkbox on the Xbox One X. Yeah, that name's so stupid. Sorry, they needed something to differentiate the Xbox One from the Xbox One X and the Xbox One S and X, which sounds bloody same.
It is like that kind of iPhone kind of upgrade system numbers, isn't it? Where it's, in one way it makes sense from the point of view of just having, it's an Xbox and then you've got a slightly better version of it. But me as an Xbox One owner, you know, the idea of spending $500, I did buy a 4K television the last couple of months because my TV broke, and I am going to upgrade to PS4. I'm waiting for basically the announcement, which is hopefully by the time this episode comes out, that there will be a price cut, because basically the Pro is going to slide in probably $100-200 less than the Xbox One X, and it just, I don't know, I just don't use my Xbox enough, and I was just like looking at this list and going, okay, I need to go and watch some of the trailers, because I'll be honest, I haven't seen some of the trailers because of positioning and stuff, and obviously sleeping and then recording.
Sleep's overrated.
Looking at the list of like the details and stuff, there just doesn't seem to be a lot there. The one thing that did jump to my attention, that will probably be the thing I will use more, is apparently original Xbox games are going to be coming to the Xbox One through backwards compatibility. Now, I think they need to work out a way of getting some of those games. Personally, you know, the drip feed effect that they've done with it's like when I was in one of the stores last week looking at some games and stuff. There is that issue for me of walking around. I don't go walk around the Xbox 360 section just being able to go, oh, here it is, I'll buy this, because I've got to check online to make sure it works. There are a few Xbox games I'd like to go back and play again from the site point of view, you know, like Knights of the Republic and a few other ones that I really hope they do bring over and be able to purchase them online. It makes sense going forward with their plan of just having a platform, and Xbox is a platform, and everything works backwards. And it definitely works into that, and I think that's good. Sony are going in a very different direction, and they're saying that nobody uses this and it's not worth the effort and nobody plays it, so let's just whack it all on PlayStation now. The only thing is, to me, is Xbox are going, right, we've got a massive back catalogue, we want to make sure that the Xbox looks like it's got a load on paper.
I think there's a couple of different things going on here. First, I do want to point out that as much flack as GameStop gets, and deservedly so, one of the things that they've done really well is they've marked their Xbox 360 games with backwards compatibility stickers, so you know if it'll work on the Xbox One or not. At the same time, they've raised the prices on those particular games, so not too many props to them. Second, I think Microsoft may be able to use this backwards compatibility as kind of like a gauge for whether or not some of these old franchises might be worth reviving. The one that they announced for the original Xbox here that's coming to the One is Crimson Skies, which is a fantastic game. I mean, it may not have aged as well as I hoped it had, but it's still a fantastic game, and I'm glad that it's kind of their flagship for the Xbox One to Xbox platform, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I would love to see a modern remake of that. Yeah. That said, these days it is also very hard to actually find original Xbox games. You have to seek them out, but there are ones that are worth seeking out.
Yeah, honestly, I was like looking at obviously the difference between. I've got this issue now. I'm starting to realize a lot of my issue with my Xbox One as well is most of my 360 games I'm buying are on sale digitally. I picked up Cars 2 the other, or Toy Story 3 the other day because they were on sale for 80% off, £2.50 for the game. And so many of that generation are now going to be backwards compatible. And I think I'm always going to be locked into the Xbox. I've had an Xbox One. I had an Xbox 360. I even had I did have the original Xbox the first time round. So I've been on the Xbox train since it began. But it's definitely my third, fourth tier system.
Right.
When something, if Crackdown 3 comes out and it is, it's exclusive to Xbox, I don't have a problem with picking it up. But there is almost that feeling of I need more than one game a year to, it's, and if it's a cross-platform game, you're not gonna get me to do that. I mean, I do think Xbox One's their Live Gold system is a lot better. It's the best one on the market. I think personally it is definitely the best monthly subscription for games because I feel like you're definitely getting your money's worth. But that to me is what the problem with the Xbox has become. It's just become my backwards compatible old titles. They look a lot better than they do on the PlayStation 3 for that reason. But yeah, I just was left a little bit all right. Nothing really jumped out at me. It's like you said, it's like Crackdown. I mean, had that come to PlayStation, I would even, like I said, Assassin's Creed, I will just buy PlayStation 4 version. I will not bother with the Xbox One version.
See, and this is why we work so well, because I'm the opposite. The PlayStation, I only turn on for exclusives. Yeah. If there's a multi-platform game, it's either going to be on my PC or my Xbox. And even for the exclusives, I'm trying to work my way through the Uncharted collection. Yeah. And while I am enjoying Uncharted 2 quite a bit, it takes a lot of willpower for me to actually turn that system on. For whatever reason, I just don't enjoy the PlayStation experience as much as the Xbox experience. And I think a lot of that has to do with the controller. But we're not going to go into that right now because that's not the point of this podcast. And if people want to get in on the debate, they can always join us on the Res TV, where we have talked about this many times already.
Definitely, there is that thing, isn't it? I think it's like this whole thing of just looking at Xbox versus PlayStation. I feel like that's lost a lot of weight in this battle, in this current generation. 360 versus PS3, I was primarily PlayStation. I had both, so it's that kind of thing of, it's for me, because I've always been sat on the fence because I've had both, even PS2 to Xbox. I've never really felt that need to be I one side or the other, because it was there was always games on either side that I liked. I just feel like the only game I did see from this Xbox conference was Cuphead, which looks like a silly sympathy episode.
Symphony.
Yeah, I can't say the word. Yeah, it looks like an old Disney cartoon. So I will probably pick that up and have a look at that one, because of the association with Disney from the site point of view, because I think it's very, very influenced by Disney kind of thing. But Crackdown 3 is the only Xbox exclusive I think I'm going to play. And it's... I wasn't blown. There's definitely nothing. I am going to have to watch the trailers to see what Anthem and PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds... Again, it's a PC shooter. With Battlefront out, I don't know if I'm going to have much spot for that.
Yeah, so I'm going to conclude my section at least with two thoughts. One, the Anthem trailer was really good, but I am getting sick to death of these dang trailers that have their pre-scripted player commentary where like they're pretending that the players are talking to each other and coordinating, because I have never played a game with a friend where we talk the way they talk in these trailers. I mean, it's ridiculous, and it completely draws me out of the trailer. I'm used to seeing these in the Ubisoft trailers, like the Ghost Recon and the Division and stuff like that, and I watched those trailers. I was just like, this is awful. No one plays these games like this. If you really want to do this, then you need to kind of get a more authentic how players game without being incredibly irritating, because the way most gamers talk when they're playing these games in a non-competitive format is very casual. Let's just leave it like that.
Yeah.
And then the second thought, which will at least wrap up for me, is I thought it was a very good presentation overall, the Xbox presentation. There were a lot of very good games that were listed in it. There are a lot of cool trailers in it. The big problem that we keep getting back at, though, is that these are cool trailers for multi-platform titles, not for Xbox One specific ones. The Crackdown 3 trailer was cool. The Cuphead trailer was cool. Sea of Thieves, if you're into PvP, looks like it's fun. Yeah. Forza 7, I've already said, you need to tell me why this is different from Forza 6. Why do I need to spend another $60 on a game I already have? So... good presentation for multi-platform titles.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally for me. I'm sitting here now. It's PS4, Switch, Xbox, and that's going to be my system of this. I'm much more excited because the thing is coming into the Nintendo event, which will be aired by the time this comes up. You know, I know there's going to be titles there that you have to have the Nintendo system to play it, and that will be it. There will be no other place you can play these games, and certain titles as well. As I'm going to be honest, you know, there was rumors of a WWE 2K game. It will be coming to the Switch, and I'm there going, that will make more sense for me on the Switch, because then I can play it anywhere and I can just throw it up and have a battle. And you know, in some ways, the Switch is the one that's going to be grabbing more away. I think the Switch have really just pulled in a lot of people away from, if you were going to have a second console, you're going to go for a Switch over an Xbox.
Well, there's no... you know, we both have both the PlayStation and Xbox, so, you know, it's difficult to say this, but for the most part, for 90% of consumers, there is no reason to own both of these. And, you know, if, you know, you get the Xbox, that's the system you buy, and for whatever reason, you really wish you had a PlayStation... because Last of Us or Horizon Zero Dawn, you wish you could play that. You know what? There's still plenty of other games to play multi-platform, so you'll be fine with that. Vice versa, you know, if you own a PlayStation and you really wish you could play Halo, you know what? You still got plenty of other games you can play that will fill that void in your heart.
But now, there we go. So that was the sort of look at some of the Xbox things. It's like I said, it was mixed bag. There was some great stuff there. Xbox One X. Good price. I think it's coming in about $430, about $500, a bit less than they were expecting. Be honest, my upgrade console this year will be the PS4 Pro. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to do. I am going to upgrade for 4K, but Xbox haven't sold it to me. They essentially, I am the perfect consumer at this precise minute. I want to upgrade to a 4K console. They didn't do it.
And I don't yet want to upgrade to a 4K console because I don't have a 4K TV. Yeah. I think I will at some point, or I might just skip 4K entirely and wait for 8K or whatever comes next. So I'm not getting either a Pro or an Xbox One. if Microsoft wanted to convince me that, oh yeah, you totally should get an Xbox One X, they failed at that.
Yeah.
And a better name.
Yeah.
Christ, that's a terrible name. I love my Xbox One. If you haven't picked that up from the podcast yet, but man, that's a terrible name.
Yeah. Well, I thought the Xbox One was a terrible name to begin with, but
granted, I'm not a big fan of the name. It's the original name either. But just tacking an X onto the end. What is this? The '90s Xbox One X? It's more extreme. No,
X is gonna give it to you.
oh man,
we're going back to.
I'm not going to get that out of my head now. That's stuck in my head now. This is your fault, Roger.
Right, on that note, guys, we'd love to know your thoughts on the Xbox presentation and what games are you looking forward to. As per usual, you can get in touch with us on all the different social media and stuff. Check us out over at DisGaming.com and also DisKingdom.com. You can find James over at HeroicLegacy.com. Keep up all the latest Marvel and sort of DC stuff there. As per usual, we are also giving away a game this month. We're going to be giving away Cars Free, Driven to Win. So you'll find all the information over on the websites. And on that note, guys, thank you very much for watching. See you guys soon. Laters.
Later.